So when I shoot, the file goes from the camera through the USB cable, pops up onto this Macintosh, but it's actually stored on this external hard drive. That way it doesn't pollute and plug up my internal hard drive on my Mac. Plus there's other good reasons why we shoot tethered too. It literally is faster. It allows me to name the file with whatever I want to before I shoot it. So if you have the Jones family in, you can say it's Jones family 2009 and then it's 2009-1. Jones family 2009-2. Every time you go click, the name of the file is Jones family 2009 number 3. Isn't that cool? Saves time right there. So my files are going to come into the system typically on an external hard drive. Now that hard drive doesn't need any power. It has FireWire 800 on it, FireWire 400, and it also has USB. They're relatively tough. It's a brand called LaCie, L-A-C-I-E. That's the rugged, R-U-G-G-E-D line. They come in 2 speeds. Buy the higher speed one. The capacity, whatever capacity you want, just make sure you buy the higher speed one, the 7,200 RPM one.
Once you're done with the shoot,
yep.
You've got all the images on the external.
Yep.
What do you do with the images on the card?
That's a great question. Ready? Here, you can actually see. I'll show you. There are as many ways to save and back up your data as there are photographers in the United States. So I can't show you all the ways that you can back up your data and keep it safe, but I can show you a system that I've ironed out over, well, probably 2 or 3 years that works really terrific for me. Most of my images that come into my system to be processed are going to be JPEGs. There are times when I shoot RAW. It's pretty rare that a TIFF file actually gets recorded from my camera. But most of you who know my videos and programs know that I typically shoot tethered, so I'm going to have my images on an external hard drive. But I also do shoot some jobs, of course, where we're going to have a compact flash card to hold our data. So first step for me is we're going to get into our system to bring those images across to make a backup, and then we will work from a fresh copy that way, because we never want to work with these original files. Just in case I make a mistake, which is pretty common around here, I would rather work on copies of files. So we're going to choose Macintosh actually for this station here. Now, let's not get into the whole Mac and PC thing. You'll look across the way. There's a couple of PCs over there too. I'm cross-platform, I have no issue, but you will find out that if speed and efficiency is really where you want to go, you're probably going to be a Macintosh person. Why? Well, multiple reasons. One is FireWire 800 is the fastest way to move data from one spot to the next. I've got a FireWire 800 card reader here that I can simply just snap a compact flash card in, or I've got a FireWire 800 cord right here that I'm just going to plug into my external hard drive. That's going to mount those really fast onto my desktop and allow me to copy into what I call my data dump. Now the data dump is a hard drive that's really 2 hard drives in one. Now that's called a RAID, R-A-I-D. And I have my RAID set up so that there's 2 drives inside that box that both work with half the data. That means it runs twice as fast. So my RAID, my data dump RAID, is set up to work super fast. Inside this one box right here, there's actually 2 hard drives that work together as one. So when you look up on the screen, you'll see that my data dump is really only 1 drive, but it's wicked fast. So when I go from an external hard drive through FireWire 800 to my RAID to copy those files, it's almost twice as fast as USB. No kidding. Next, I'm always nervous about data dumps and RAIDs and hard drives crashing. Now, the odds of a hard drive really crashing are very minimal, particularly when they don't get moved around, but I take no chances. So here's where my backup comes in. This data dump is set so that every night at 2 o'clock in the morning, it will transfer all of its information to this second RAID. Now this is a larger RAID. Now let's talk about brands, by the way, of RAIDs. The data dump is a brand called OWC, Other World Computing. Now our video guys use a ton of these because all the videos that we create actually are stored onto RAIDs. Well, the RAIDs themselves are good and they're low cost and they work on Mac and work on PC. However, customer service with the OWC folks, and if you ever have any repair issues with them, not so terrific. So we've moved over to LaCie. Now the LaCie drives are more expensive. This is the 2 big triple. So this again is 2 hard drives in one box that actually appears up on the screen as 1 hard drive. This is 2 terabytes. This is 1.5 terabytes. So every night, these back up, they synchronize whether we put anything on them or not, but I never touch this LaCie drive. I only work with my data dump drive. So when a shoot comes in, it goes from a compact flash card, first thing, onto the data dump. That day, 2 o'clock in the morning, those files are automatically duplicated onto my LaCie drive. Different software for Mac and for PC. The software that I use on a Macintosh is called ChronoSync, C-H-R-O-N-O-S-Y-N-C. It is on your handout in the gray. ChronoSync. I think it's $149. Works flawlessly. Love it. It also allows me to back up to other external drives for clients. When I have clients that have a lot of data that I create, they actually have their own hard drive. So when I want to back up that data, I just connect that hard drive to my system, launch ChronoSync, and say, would you please back up this client's hard drive onto the data dump? Then again, later in the day, at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's automatically going to move everything that's been added to the data dump, whoop, over to that great big LaCie triple. That means I'm backed up, right, on 2 different RAIDs, and the odds of one of those RAIDs crashing because it doesn't move are small. When they get filled, they go back on a shelf and I put a brand new one in there. Right? That's how I work. I don't erase those at all. Even if you've got data that's 4, 5, 6 years on there, I don't care. Here's my thought. Those RAIDs are so inexpensive that I don't want to take any chances with anything crashing at all. Now, if you're a PC person, ChronoSync is not going to work for you. You want a different one. You want one called Second Copy. So forget all the other ones, the ones you hear on the radio, all that other nonsense, forget it. You want one called Second Copy.